Hello, my name is Mark Adam, and in this video I want to share with you some simple but effective embodiment practices that you can use to build your confidence. These practices are backed by neuroscience and psychological studies that actually show qualitative differences in people's confidence levels and also at a physiological level. We often think of confidence as more of an attitude, but it's more of an embodied state, how we hold ourselves, how we speak, how we present ourselves, how we feel in our bodies, and also at a physiological level. Confident people actually have less cortisol, less of the stress hormone cortisol in their system. That means when they encounter difficult situations, they're actually less stressed by them. And they also have more testosterone in their system. Now, we might think of testosterone as kind of the male macho chemical, but testosterone is linked to confidence, and the ability to express ourselves, to stand up for ourselves, and to meet resistance when we need to. So these practices can help us build a solid base in our own bodies to be confident in the world. The first thing I want to talk about is centering. Centering is about state regulation. We don't feel very confident if we're triggered into flight response. We want to be able to stay calm and centered and grounded when we encounter difficult situations, or even if it's something simple as asking somebody for a date or standing up at a board meeting. So being able to regulate our system is the first thing. Noticing when our heart rate gets sped up, when our breathing becomes shallow, or when we get tense in our body. So just noticing our body and being able to change it back into a calm state is what centering is about. Centering is a bit of a bigger topic, and I have a whole video on it. I'll put a link at the end and in the description. So if you're new to it, I encourage you to check it out. But basically, centering is about state regulation. And the simplest way to do that is to bring our body into alignment. Often when we're stressed, we're kind of leaning forward anxiously, or we might be collapsing backwards a little bit nervously. So just bringing our body into balance and letting our weight drop down smoothly to the floor. Whether we're standing or sitting, just letting ourselves be in alignment with gravity and letting our weight drop down. This releases tension in the body. Another thing is just working with our breath. So as we inhale, feel a length and strength in our spine. Exhale, feel softness in the belly. When we're tense or dysregulated, we often have tenseness in our jaw and our mouth, in our throat and our chest. So on our exhales, letting the front of our body soften. As we inhale, feel some strength, some support in our back. Exhale, feel some softness in the front of our body. The variation I like on this is inhale, dignity in the spine. Exhale, ease and grace. Inhale, dignity. Exhale, ease and grace. This might seem like a simple thing to do, but if we work out through this regularly, we build that connection into our own body, to how we feel, to noticing when we become dysregulated. Working with our breath and our balance has a way of just being able to calm our own nervous system so that we can stay in a good place when we meet difficulty or when we have to stand up and be counted. So this is something that you don't want to just pull out of your hat when you're all of a sudden in an argument or have a job interview. Something you want to work with daily, once in a while, a few times a day, just to build up that skill of being able to notice what state your body's in and being able to soothe your own nervous system and bring yourself into a good place of being. Another thing I want to talk about is actual postures that we can do to actually build up our confidence levels. Confidence, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky, confidence is about the willingness to be seen and to be heard. It's holding up your hand and saying your opinion in front of the whole class. It's asking somebody out for a date. It's standing up at a meeting at work and saying an opinion that might differ with somebody else's. It's that willingness to be seen and to be heard. And this is actually a crucial thing because for a lot of us, some of us, we grew up being acknowledged, being, encouraged, being praised when we did things well. Others of us weren't encouraged. We weren't acknowledged. We weren't respected. And for some of us, being seen or standing out brought bad attention to us. It wasn't safe. So as a child, we might have learned to be small. We might have learned to, be seen and not heard, to be quiet, to keep ourselves small because that was a safer thing to do. But if we want to move forward confidently, we want to move into that place where now we're willing to be seen. We're willing to be heard. We're willing to stand up for ourselves. We're willing to do what we know we can do well in front of other people. And so with this, this first posture kind of exaggerates that notion of being seen. And I just want to add that being seen is not just something humans do, it's across the animal kingdom. Birds spread out their wings, bears stand on their hind legs, cats arch their backs, and Fish puff up their bodies. Becoming larger is a sign of being confident, whereas kind of keeping ourselves small, holding ourselves down is a sign to others that we're not feeling confident, but it also sends a signal to ourselves. It's very hard to feel confident if we have stooped shoulders and we're in a collapsed state. So being confident is actually becoming a little bit larger, being willing to be large, to be noticed. So this first posture, we're exaggerating it. And the way we work with, sometimes in embodiment coaching, is we work with postures to kind of see our underlying patterns, how we normally are. Because we might not know that we normally keep ourselves a bit small. We normally, when we talk to people, we have our shoulders hunched, or we look away, or we express ourselves with a small, gentle voice instead of with a firm voice. So we're going to exaggerate this a little bit. And this first posture is actually called being seen. And the way you do it is you put your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, so you've got a good solid stance, and you lift your arms up wide in a V. Now, if this is hard for you to lift your arms up, for some people it's hard on their shoulders, they can't bring their hands over their heads, or it's tiring, you can always put your hands on your hips in Superman or Wonder Man pose. Just for a moment, hold yourself large. The other name for this pose is called taking up space, which is another aspect of being confident. You take up space in the boardroom meeting. You have people pay attention to you and not other people. So just in this posture of being seen, of taking up space, the first thing to notice is, does this feel familiar? Does this feel strange? Is this something you never do? Does it feel uncomfortable to be seen, to put yourself out there? And we're not judging ourselves for this. We're just noticing what attitudes we might have, what beliefs we might have here. Does this feel unsafe? Does it feel arrogant? Does it feel like we're puffing ourselves up? That it's not right to be seen? That we should be shy, or that we should let other people go first? We could have all sorts of different ideas and beliefs around this. Let's hold it for a bit more longer. And for some people, this might be very challenging. You might feel unsafe, so feel free to come out of it any time. For others of you, this might feel comfortable, normal. You might even amplify it a bit. Imagine you're a rock star, a singer in front of a band, and you're standing in front of a crowd of 20,000 people. How does it feel to have attention on yourself? Can you be calm while that happens? Or does it feel too unsettling? Is it too awkward? Is it too exposed, too vulnerable? So we can just come out of it, maybe just shake it off for a second. So we're doing this posture not because we're going to do this at work, but we want to just play with that concept of being seen and of making ourselves larger. Because we might have had a history of making ourselves small and quiet. We want to just develop that stretching our capability. Think of it as lifting weights at the gym. You lift weights in the gym, so you develop that strength for your life. So here, we just want to play with that idea about making ourselves a little bit larger. It's practicing. It's practicing. Some people talk about fake it till you make it. I like more the idea of practicing till you develop the skill. It's like learning a new language. At first, you can't pronounce the words right, but you keep practicing it until you can. And so here we want to practice that standing up for ourselves, about being larger, about being willing to receive other people's attention and still feel solid and secure in ourselves. There's some very interesting study around this with Amy Cuddy. I'm going to have a link for her TED Talk in the description because I highly recommend you watching it. But they had some people, they simulated a research thing where people were going to a job interview. And half the people before the job interview, they had them spend 2 minutes in what they call a powerless pose, where they were kind of collapsed, shoulders rounded, and they had them be like this for 2 minutes. And the other people, they had be in a power pose. For 2 minutes, they had them be like this before the job interview. Standing confidently, feeling strong, feeling powerful. And then they went into the job interview. They recorded these job interviews, and then they played them for a whole group of people without the sound. And unanimously, the people who judged the people's performance in the job interviews found that all the people who'd done the power pose first, they assigned them that they were confident and would be successful in the job, whereas all the people who'd done the powerless pose, they rated poorly. Not only that, people's hormone levels changed. People who'd done the power pose first, their cortisol levels actually dropped. We tested them before and after. and their testosterone levels went up. And correspondingly, the people who'd done the powerless pose, their cortisol levels rose, so they were getting more stressed, and their testosterone levels dropped, so they felt less capable. So just this idea, so this is the second pose I wanted to show you, the power pose, which you can call it the Wonder Woman pose or the Superman pose. And again, we're not doing this because we're going to stand like this at work or go to the bar and stand like this, but we want to feel this sense of power and capability and confidence in our body. Breathing into our upper chest, our shoulders back and down. We're not in a collapsed state, we're in an erect state. We're standing up for ourselves. We feel our own value, our own worth. And this is a pose you want to do just for like 2 minutes a day. Let yourself soak this up. Let this retrain your nervous system into being more expansive, to being more grounded while you present yourself to others, to feeling more sure of yourself, to feeling more steadiness. And so we do this on our own, and then this will bleed out into our lives. And like that research with Amy Cuddy, you might do this before a job interview. Just go into your office by yourself and stand like this for a couple minutes. And just feel that in yourself, that confidence level. So these are simple things you can do, but they are surprisingly effective. They're surprisingly effective to work with these postures. It gives us a felt sense of what it's like to be confident. It helps to retrain our nervous system, especially if we've been one where we've held tension in our body, held ourselves small, held ourselves down. This is a way that we could practice in a safe way, feeling ourselves become larger, feeling ourselves becoming seen, standing up for ourselves. And the more we do this, the more we feel it in our body and the more confident we become. As I found with smiling, if somebody's not feeling good and they kind of force themselves to smile, they start to feel good. So again, I don't like that term, fake it till you make it, but there's an aspect of we practice something that we're not capable of yet, and then we slowly acquire that skill. We acquire that skill to feel confident, to feel a certainness in our body that we're capable to meet this situation. We feel strength in expressing ourselves, in standing up when our opinion matters. So this is a way that we can practice this safely in our own home. Just 2 minutes a day, stand in a power pose. Let yourself feel this. Just notice what comes up. So for some people, as I said, the roots of confidence and self-esteem can go all the way back to our childhood. And you might find that for yourself, there's a little bit more to work with, a little bit more to uncover. We might have unconscious beliefs around this, that being seen will get us hurt, that standing up for ourselves will bring bad attention, or that it's being arrogant, or that you're being uppity. There might be all these kind of conditions that we learn, or ways that we learned to be safe in the past that no longer serve us now. So I do embodiment coaching. I'm also trained with parts work and in focusing. So if you want to work one-on-one with somebody, maybe exploring this, teasing it out a little bit more, and sometimes working with somebody else when you're working in these postures can help bring more awareness to how you actually hold yourself and explore the feelings that come up with you. So I hope you found this interesting. And again, watch the TED Talk by Amy Cuddy. It's very informative, and she's a good speaker on that. And again, if you like this, please hit like or subscribe or comment. I enjoy reading the comments. And may you live with the confidence you need for your life. All right, thank you.